Salamangreat is a cool archetype. Like, I like what the deck does, but you know what I don't like is that funny yellow button that just completely changes how a deck is played, and sometimes even plays a deck for you by holding your little hand while it makes big monsters and spell cards appear out of thin air every single turn. Like, it's not even once per duel. But today's topic is not about glue-eating heroes. I made a whole other video talking about how terrible it is. Today we are talking about a different issue that some people call the zero-card combo. In case you aren't familiar what the skill does, it lets you discard any card, yes, any card from your hand, and add a Salamangreat of Fire and a Burning Shell to your hand. And Salamangreat of Fire is a one-card combo. And it's a pretty good one-card combo. Salamangreat of Fire itself gets you to your main resource loop, and once you get to your main resource loop, you basically have infinite grind game because it's salads we're talking about. And don't forget, you're also getting a free Burning Shell, which is an interruption by linking off a Mirage Stalio. And guess what? That's not even all. Like, if you go second, you just get to summon a salad monster from your deck for absolutely free. Like, who designed this skill? The thing about zero card combos is that it basically lets you play anything you want in your deck without needing to worry about bricking at all. You have basically a 100% consistency rate of always opening with anything you want. Want to have a better turn 1 setup, you can play 15 counter traps. You want to be better going second against monsters with quick effects, you just throw in your droplets and Book of Moons and Eclipses. Hand traps good this format, play free Veilers, free DD Crows, free Mourners, free Droll, free Lancia, and still full combo every single game. I know most topping salad decks aren't even playing that much non-engine. We can have a look at a typical topping salad deck, look at how many monsters they're actually playing. They're playing all of the salad monsters with searchers and barely any non-engine. It's not even like half of the deck. But, you know, that's not the point of this video. It's more like the concept of zero card combos in general that I want to be talking in this video. Okay, first let's talk about my stance on this whole zero card combo thing. I think the concept of a zero card combo is fine. I'm okay with zero card combos being a thing that is in duelings. What I think it's not fine is what archetypes get zero card combos and what the zero card combos actually accomplish. You know, the salad skill isn't actually the first zero card combo skill that's already in the game, so let's take a look at 2 examples. The Pendulum Rebellion skill is a skill that gives you free scales and free monsters to summon with your scales, giving you 100% consistent access to a strong OTK tool, namely Rebellion Dragon Overlord. It's not, you don't get it from the skill, you have to play it yourself, but you get the materials to make it pretty much every single time. When the skill came out, people immediately realized that you can play this skill in everything, even though it does lock you into a normal or special summoning a specific archetype. I mean free archetypes in this case, but yeah, people realize that you can actually play this in anything. So people were playing this deck with striker spells and just clearing the board with generic spells with the striker engine, drawing cards with Soulful Card Elegance from this free skills that you get, using even Super Poly, and then just OTKing with Rebellion after you clear the entire board. I think it's stupid that a deck like that even exists, but the thing about this is that it's not that big of a problem because that deck kinda sucks. You can tell because after like the initial week of the skill coming out, just like barely anyone who played the deck, because you can see the last period when this kind of strategy was even remotely popular was in January 1st, and then after that, kind of just nobody played it. Like, the decks that played it weren't even abusing the skill as a zero card combo. It's just Odd Eyes and Phantom Knights, which were using this skill the way John Konami intended. Just like only one guy who played it in KC Cup Stage 1, which isn't really that difficult of an achievement, because in my opinion, I think getting to King of Games is harder than getting to finish KC Cup Stage 1. I think like for the majority of Stage 1 it's just like glue eating babies playing dark magicians. It's only like the final stages where it actually gets a tiny bit competitive, but you know that's besides the point. The point is that this deck is not very good because the thing about Rebellion OTK is that the deck just does nothing going first. Like, if you actually give a moment to think about what this deck actually does, all the skill does is give you a powerful guy that you can punch really hard with. But, you know, you go first half of the time, and the skill just does nothing. So your turn one board is just, you know, Widow Anchor and Copium. Okay, so let's look at our next example, Spiral Leading to the Dragon Champion. What a long name for a skill. It lets you get a free Artillery Catapult Turtle, and if you go second, you also get a free Dark Magician and a free Polymerization. It's definitely a lot more flexible and better in general than the zero card combo from Pendulum Rebellion because it's good going first and second because Artillery Catapult Turtle gets you a free monster from your deck, which is basically combo. It's combo both going first and second. But with that said, there is two things to consider here. First, that it's a skillful Gaia, you know, a terrible anime archetype that's basically unplayable without a good skill. The last time it was remotely playable was when another skill back in the day, you know, went back before when skills were completely busted, when they just gave you a field spell by returning a card from your hand back to the deck, and that was considered like a competitive meta deck. You know, secondly is for the Gaia deck, the free turtle isn't even combo on its own, technically. Sure, it gets you to a Curse of Dragon, which searches a fusion spell, but in order to make the fusion monsters, you need another monster to actually fusion summon with, and the skill doesn't really get that with just one free Artillery Catapult Turtle. It only does give you a material when you go second in the form of the free Dark Magician. But the thing about Dark Magician is that you can only use it for fusion summoning something like a Dark Cavalry, as let's have a look at a sample deck. From the extra deck, as you can see, you can only use Dark Magician for basically Dark Cavalry, and for the actual good fusion monsters like Gaia the Magical Knight of Dragons, you can't use the Dark Magician at all, so you will need to hard draw either the Curse of Dragon or the Gaia the Magical Knight, so it's not really that good of a zero card combo if you just have the free Artillery Catapult Turtle. That being said, there is another deck that uses the skill that uses the Catapult Turtle as basically a zero card combo, which is Dragon Link. There's abomination of a dragon pile uses Artillery Catapult Turtle as a way to get a free Dark Flare Dragon, which can send dragons from your hand and deck to the graveyard, and then basically just starts your combo by just getting any dragon you want in rotation, and then abusing the non-once per turn effect of Eclipse Wyvern. But the thing is that it's also not really that good of a zero card combo. Ideally, you want a way to search the Eclipse Wyvern with something like a Dawn Knight to send it to the graveyard, and then you can use your like Dark Flare Dragon to banish the Eclipse Wyvern to search any big dragon you want, and then that is a lot of card advantage that is generated. But if you just have the Dark Flare Dragon on its own, it doesn't really do a whole lot without, you know, good stuff for you to banish. And also, the deck is just not very good in general. There is another dragon combo deck known as Borrowlink, but as you can see, if you go over to top decks, you can't even find it. It's just nowhere to be seen. Like, the deck was tier 1 at one point, and now it's just gone. It's just gone entirely. We can go search for it. I guess we can go search borrowed link, and you can see that like the last topping deck was in January 23rd, which is like what, more than 2 weeks ago, and just nobody played this deck. And that deck is just better in general than Dragon Link. The deck also has really consistent access to a lot of good dragon monsters. It gives you a free link to that is good going second to pop monsters. It has like the good dragon tools like Levianeer and stuff. And the deck is not even that playable like in this meta. You don't even see it anymore. So like if a deck like Boral Link doesn't really see that much play, and well, Dragon Link is just dead completely. Like it's not even a competition. Heck, you can go and see that even Christrons have more decks than Borrowlink, and that should be an indication of how hard Borrowlink as a deck has fallen off, and in comparison, how Dragon Link is even more unplayable in this meta. But I digress. Let's return to the Salad skill. Salad, unlike decks such as Gaia, is a good archetype. It has been tier 0 at one point, even without a broken skill. People were using the tie that binds with Salads, and it was the best deck. The tie that binds, the skill, the tie that binds, the skill that gives you just, what, 300 or 400 attack every turn, and that's what the entire skill does. Back when skills weren't completely broken, and a deck that uses a skill like this was tier 0. Wow, that's crazy, right? That's insane. It only stopped being tier 0 when they limited the counter trap alongside Gazelle. So if Konami wanted to make Salads good again, they can just give us back the counter trap. I mean, it's annoying. I've played against a lot of Salads at when the time it was good, but at this point, I think the power level of decks in this current metagame can deal with one Omni Negate, even if it's recurable, because you actually need to commit to quite a bit until you can actually get access to the counter trap. It's not that broken compared to like back a year ago when Tachyon Dragon Domination was searching the counter trap using the skill, which means you can't even interact with how they can have access to the counter trap. For Salads, you have to first summon the Gazelle. You have to have the Gazelle first. You have to search the Gazelle, summon the Gazelle, and then send it to the trap from your deck to the graveyard, make the link to, and then make the link to again, and then use the effect when it's made using itself, Sunlight Wolf, to add back the trap from the graveyard to your hand. And then that is when you can finally set the trap, and then wait a turn until, their turn ends, and then they can use it during your turn. You see how convoluted that setup is compared to, like Tachyons and stuff? How easy it is to stop even if they go first with like any hand trap. You can stop it with Valor, stop it with DD Crow. Like, my point is that Raw is still definitely good, but it's not broken, and I think it's a pretty good way to make Salads relevant again without needing to make it another brain dead, yellow button skill, which I don't really like. I'd much rather have Raw back than making Salads another brain dead yellow button skill like how Hero got their broken skill. So, like, let's have a look at what the skill also does, other than giving you this crazy one zero card combo that gets you both follow up. It gets you a zero card combo. It's full combo, gets you everything. Gets you interruption as well with the burning shell. It's even crazier when you go second. You get a free Salad monster from your deck. It's a plus free. It's straight up a plus free, and it really helps you going second as well, because you can summon something like a Salamangreat Fowl, which is a way to deal with your opponent's back row. If your opponent has any back row, you can make this guy for free, threaten your opponent's back row, and then just normal summon your Salamangreat of Fire, and that's full combo. That's insanely good for a skill that is pretty much a zero card combo and does not need you to commit anything to just straight up use the skill to threaten stuff before you even get to your combo. You see how insane this skill is for a zero card combo? Like, it would be good even if it was a skill that needs you to have a specific a card in your hand to discard, or play a specific amount of monsters. But that's just ridiculous. How much the skill does for having to only discard a generic card from your hand to the graveyard. It's insane. So, what are your thoughts on zero card combos? Do you like the concept of a zero card combo? Do you hate zero card combos, even if it's supporting a bad deck? Like Gaia. Will you prefer having Salamander to roll back than having the new salad skill that plays the deck for you? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to see what you guys think about this whole situation and the skill and, zero card combos in general, and how they are going to implement this concept in the future. But I personally think that if they were to nerf the skill, which they definitely should, they should at least make you discard a salad monster, maybe make it so that you have to play a specific amount of salad monsters in your deck to actually have the skill active, and have a way to nerf the free salad +1 that you get when you go second. It's just a tiny bit too broken. Maybe at least summon it, at least have some sort of restriction when you summon the free guy, and maybe summon it and negate its effect, so you can't just go foul immediately. But anyway, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching and goodbye.